Good afternoon, and welcome to Luca and Michaels' Excellent Adventure Podcast. I am very excited to be here today. I'm very excited to talk with my roommate Luca today. I have a lot of fun topics we will be discussing and talking about today. This past Thursday, I celebrated one of my favorite holidays and my favorite day of the year, Thanksgiving. I love Thanksgiving. I love the at this time of year. I love when my brother cooks the turkey. I love when all my family members come to my house. We watch football. It's a tremendous day. I had a great day. I woke up Thursday and I ran 5 miles and in a race. Other a lot of people in my town run this race. I felt great after it. And when I was done with the race, I was very, very happy that I did it because it started off the day very well and I felt extremely good after it. And then I went home, watched a little bit of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade, and then my family came over. My brother did a tremendous job with the turkey. We deep fried it and I watched a little bit of the football. I didn't watch a lot of the Lions Packers game, but that was a big win for the Packers on Thursday. And I watched a little bit of the Chiefs Cowboys game, and that was a big win for Dallas. Luca, what was your thoughts on the football games on Thursday?
Yes, I thought on Thursday there was all football games were great. Great win for the Packers. That was big for them to beat the Lions, especially being that it was in Detroit. It was big for the Cowboys to beat uh, Mahomes and the Chiefs. I'm still not ruling Mahomes out of the playoffs despite them losing, and I also think it was big for Burrow and the Bengals to get the win in his first game back from injury.
Without question. And with regards to the Chiefs Cowboys game, I was watching some of the game with my uncle, and my uncle said that Mahomes made some plays on Thursday that are like unbelievable and incredible. And it was toward the end of the game, and I believe it was on the drive where they were about to score their last touchdown of the game, and Mahomes like escaped from three Cowboy defenders who were trying to sack him, and Mahomes went to his right and like threw a sidearm and threw it to the other side of the field. And my uncle's like, "Did you just see that?" I'm like, "That was unbelievable." Patrick Mahomes has a gift for making incredible plays, and he makes plays at the perfect time and at the right time. And when Mahomes makes plays. He's 30 right now. Mahomes makes plays that like 20-year-old guys make and like 22-year-old guys make, and he's doing that when he's 30. He does a tremendous job with making great plays. Um, he is has an incredible talent. Nobody can do the sidearm like he does. It was an unfortunate loss, but the Chiefs never gave up and they kept fighting. Yesterday, did you watch any football games yesterday, Luca?
Uh, no, yesterday I didn't watch as many as Thursday.
Yesterday, the Jets won off a last second field goal, and last night's game was unbelievable between the Denver Broncos and the Washington Commanders. Sean Payton has done a tremendous job with the Denver Broncos this season. They're 10-2, and they're really taking nothing for granted. And I believe that the Denver Broncos or the New England Patriots will represent the AFC in the Super Bowl next February. I believe nobody can really keep up with them and nobody can. They seem very, very hard to beat right now. And in the NFC, I believe it will be either one of these three teams that will represent the NFC in the Super Bowl next February. The Los Angeles Rams, who they lost yesterday, but they're having a great season, the Philadelphia Eagles or the Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears won a huge game on Friday. They beat the Eagles. And if an NFC team can beat the Eagles or any team in the league can beat the Eagles at this point in the season, it's a real, real testament. And they send a message to everybody saying, okay, this team's real. So I think it's either going to be Chicago, Philadelphia, or Los Angeles in the NFC. And I don't think New England or Denver will lose a game up until the Super Bowl. And I think that either one of those two teams will win the Super Bowl this upcoming February. Denver's defense never gives up. They're very resilient. Their offense just keeps rolling. When a mistake is made, they keep answering. They keep firing. The Bo Nix continues to make big classes. I mean, big passes, and they definitely are studying film. And they're very, very determined. Same thing with New England. They have a big game against the Giants tonight. And then a week from this Sunday, the Bills play the Patriots, and the Patriots defeated the Bills earlier this season. And if the Broncos and the Patriots continue to keep up this pace throughout the season, they're going to be very, very hard to beat. And I really don't see either one of those two teams losing up until the Super Bowl. And I'm very, very impressed with what they've done this season. And there have been a lot of close games that the Broncos have played in this season, especially these past few weeks. And every time they're in a big situation, and every time it's a very close game with just a few minutes to go, or they're down 7 with a minute to go, or down 10 with 5 minutes to go, they always find a way to win, and they always win in a big time game. And that is extremely impressive. Do you agree, Luca?
Yeah, no, I think the Broncos are definitely a great team this season, and they have a chance to definitely make and possibly even win the Super Bowl. And I'd say the same goes for New England as well.
And this is usually uncommon for the Broncos or the Patriots because ever since Peyton Manning retired from the Denver Broncos, the Broncos haven't been great. And the last time the Denver Broncos won a playoff game was 10 years ago in Super Bowl 50 when Peyton Manning won his final game, my favorite Super Bowl. And since then, they've only made the playoffs once, which was last season, and they lost in the wild card against the Bills. And in like the middle of the season, I said to myself, I could tell you one thing, the Broncos are going to win a playoff game this season. And I said, after they beat the Chiefs and after they won last night, now I'm really thinking that they have a chance to win the whole thing. I think they're going to win the whole thing. And the last time the Patriots were really, really good and this good was in 2019 when Tom Brady won his last Super Bowl with the Patriots. And they really have been um, playing tough football. They haven't been giving up. They're very well coached. Mike Vrabel, who won a few Super Bowls with Tom Brady, who was a great linebacker for the Patriots. In Super Bowl 39, the Patriots beat the Eagles in the Super Bowl 24-21. And Mike Vrabel, who was the head coach of the New England Patriots now, he played on the Patriots and he caught a touchdown pass in the Super Bowl that Tom Brady threw to him. Uh, and these coaches, probably the reason why Mike Vrabel and the Patriots have done such a great job this season is because Mike Vrabel was around such a great player like Tom Brady. He was coached by a great coach by Bill Belichick, and he really understands how to win. And I think that plays a big contribution to how they're doing this season. Do you agree, Luca?
Yes, I 100% agree with you. Mike Vrabel is definitely a great coach for the Patriots.
And college football over the weekend, Ohio State won again, Ole Miss won again, and Georgia won again. And those three teams will be in the college football playoff. I'm most impressed with what Ole Miss has done this season because usually Ole Miss, they usually have a very good team, but they're usually not this good. And they're 11-1, and they have been playing well against everybody. They are dominating. Their offense is spectacular. Their defense is spectacular. They're very well coached. And I've been very, very impressed with what they've done. Do you think Gold Miss has a chance to win the national championship for football?
Yes, I do think they have a chance. However, I'm not a fan of the move of their head coach just like going in like the middle of the season when they're like 11-1.
I was confused by that as well because when a team is that good and when a coach disciplines his players like that and when the coach is such a leader for his team and when a team like Old Miss isn't usually this good, but this has been like the first great season they've had in a long time and they automatically just get rid of him. I was kind of taken aback by that, but I have to say he has done a tremendous job this season. Do you agree, Luca?
Yes, I do agree. He's done a great job, and I'm sure he's going to do great things at LSU.
Now, oh yes, the Ole Miss coach that is going to leave, that has left, he is going to LSU.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. And I think that when a coach leaves like that, it definitely leaves you to a question that there's two sides to every story. But I hope whatever ends up happening, he succeeds. And right now, I think the either one or two teams that will win the whole thing will be Georgia or Ohio State. I like the Ohio State head coach a lot, Ryan Day. Last year, Ohio State went 15-0 and won the national championship. They beat Notre Dame. And ever since then, they've been clicking on offense. They stop everybody on defense. And they're just this really, really intimidating, great team. And I think a great football coach once taught me that you have to be in football, it's always the toughest team that wins. My eighth grade football coach taught me that. And I think that in this case, the reason why Ohio State and Georgia have been winning all these games is because they have been incredibly tough and they have never backed down. Do you agree, Luca?
Yes, no, I agree. Both teams have been playing great this season for sure, and toughness definitely plays a part.
Luca, how was your weekend? What did you do over the weekend?
Yes, so my weekend was great. Actually, Friday, I was able to hang out with high school friends, which was very nice. We went to the movies and saw this new movie called Predator Badlands, which is essentially like an alien hunter movie. And then after that, we just like went like just explored like some stores like Kohl's and like GameStop, which was cool. And we also had a very nice dinner at Applebee's too, which was nice. And overall, it was just great just to catch up with them. Like that's one thing that like about college is like you don't get to see your high school friends as much. So when you do, like it's a little like extra special. And then um, Saturday was in the Hamptons. I had an early birthday celebration for my dad's birthday, which is today actually. And that was great. So yeah, no, overall I had a great weekend.
That is awesome. And how was your day on Thursday?
Oh, my day was great on Thursday. Thursday, I celebrated Thanksgiving at my mom's house, and my grandparents came over. My mom cooked, you know, the turkey stuffing, uh, a bunch of different things, and watched football. And yeah, no, Thanksgiving was great this year.
Thanksgiving is always such a great holiday, and in only a few weeks, Christmas Day will be here. And another thing I love about Thanksgiving is that when Thanksgiving is over, you get to look forward to Christmas, which is only a few weeks away. Do you agree with that, Luca?
Yes, I do agree. I'm very much looking forward to Christmas.
Now, Luca, I have a question for you. As of right now, with the way these teams have been playing this season, who do you think has a better chance of winning the Super Bowl or going to the Super Bowl? The Broncos or the Bills?
I would say the team that has the better chance of going and possibly winning, I would definitely say is the Broncos. They have played much better this season and uh, like haven't made as much mistakes as the Bills.
I think Buffalo's having a tremendous season. There was a loss or two in there that they probably that they should have won. Yesterday was a great win against the Steelers, and I will never ever ever count out Josh Allen. Josh Allen plays with a lot of heart. He plays with a lot of toughness, and he never ever backs down. And I think that if he keeps his head up and they keep going and they don't give up, they will. I think they have a chance of going to the Super Bowl. And even if it's not this season, within the next few years, I think they will definitely go to the Super Bowl. They are a very resilient, well coached team. Now, Luca, as of right now, with the way the teams have played this season, who do you think has a better chance of winning the Super Bowl, the Patriots or the Broncos?
I would say the team that has the better chance. That's a little hard to say because both teams, I would say, have a good chance of winning it.
I agree. They're both 10-2 right now. But if I were to say right now who has a better chance, again, it's both even. But if I had to choose, I would say the Broncos only because I really have a lot of confidence in that coach, Sean Payton. He does a tremendous job. He's very smart and he really, really is a great X's and O's coach. And he really knows how to win in a big game. He won the Super Bowl in 2009 with the Saints. And to be honest, my grandfather told me this on Thanksgiving that an onside kick really works in football. And it actually, what came to my mind was the Super Bowl when Sean Payton was the head coach of the Saints and the Saints won in 2009. The 2009 season, the Super Bowl was played in February 2010. The Saints beat the Colts 31-17, and the Colts were up 10-6 at halftime. And the start of the second half, the Colts were going to have the ball, but the Saints started with an onside kick, and that got their momentum going. And that one play, to be honest, a lot of people say to this day that that onside kick, that decision made by Sean Payton, won them the game because it got them their momentum. They scored their first touchdown to make it 13-10, and then they made a lot of great plays on defense, and it was a very, very and it was kind of a risky call to make the start of the second half because if you don't get it, the Colts have better field position, and with a great quarterback like Peyton Manning on the Colts, they could have went down the field and scored. And if they didn't onside kick it, the Colts could have scored on the first possession of the second half to make it 17-6. There was a big difference between 13-10 and then 17-6. So that was a very risky call by Sean Payton, but it worked, and that really, really got them going. What do you think of that call, Luca?
No, I do think that that despite it being a risky call, it did ultimately work out, which was a good thing.
And that's the only time the Saints won a Super Bowl, and that was the only time they brought their team. That's the last time the Saints played in a Super Bowl. And Drew Brees, uh, Tracy Porter, all those players did a tremendous job in that game. And Sean Payton really, really brought them to victory. And another onside kick that I remember thinking about was the 2014 NFC Championship game between the Green Bay Packers and the Seattle Seahawks. The game was played at the Seahawks field, and the Seahawks were the defending Super Bowl champions. They had won the year before, and in the following year, the Seahawks were back in the NFC Championship. The game was played at Seattle, and the Packers were up 16 to nothing at half. And I said to myself, I think Green Bay is going to win it. But believe in the fourth quarter, the Seahawks were about to line up for a field goal, and the Seahawks did a fake extra point, and the place kicker, instead of lining it up for the kicker to kick it, the place kicker threw a touchdown pass to their lineman, and then Joe Buck, the announcer, said, Seattle's back in it. And then they made it 16-7, and then it was 16-14, 19-14. Uh, and actually, the Seahawks scored to make it 19-14. And then with a couple of minutes left, the Seahawks went for an onside kick. And this was the play that won them the game. The Seahawks onside kicked it, so there was a chance that they could get the ball back. The Seahawks onside kicked it, and the Packers guy who was trying to catch the onside kick, it he dropped the pass. It went out of his hands, and then the Seahawks recovered it. And I felt really bad for that guy. And then Seattle got the ball back to make it 22-19. And then Green Bay tied it up at 22. And then Russell Wilson, who's on the Giants now, but when he was on the Seahawks, in that game, he threw 4 interceptions, but still won the game. And then in the beginning of overtime, the Seahawks, Russell Wilson threw it to Jermaine Kearse for the catch and caught it. And the Seahawks went back to the Super Bowl, but they lost against the Patriots in that Super Bowl. But when Russell Wilson made that pass, Kearse caught it, and the Seahawks never gave up, and they fought till the end. And a lot of people, when they were watching that game, believe that Seattle really has no chance, but they never ever gave up. And if it wasn't for that onside kick, to be honest, Green Bay probably would have won. What do you think of that game, Luca?
No, that certainly sounds like a very eventful game for certain. I mean, yeah, good for Seattle that they got the onside kick and were ultimately able to win it.
And then the following season, the Seahawks were very good again. They went to the divisional round and they played against the Panthers. The Seahawks lost that game, but actually, the Seahawks and the Panthers that season 10 years ago when the Panthers lost in the Super Bowl against the Broncos, they lost only one game in the regular season and they were an incredible team. Their defense was outstanding and their offense was outstanding. Like they were a team that nobody could keep up with. They dominated against everybody and they were a very, very tough opponent. The Panthers were actually up 31 to nothing at halftime. Uh, and the Seahawks didn't score any points in the first half, but in the second half, they came back. They lost by a touchdown, but they scored 24 points in the second half, and they almost won the game. Like it was 31 nothing at halftime, and at one point in the second half, when it was like 31-24, a lot of people were saying to themselves, Seattle might win this. They never gave up and they never lost faith and they kept going. Now, would you rule the Kansas City Chiefs out of the playoff contention, Luca?
No, I would not rule them out of the playoff contention at all because, as we've seen in the past, when Mahomes makes the playoffs, he's just like a beast. Like he's just a totally different quarterback in the playoffs, and just makes like a lot of clutch plays.
He most certainly does, and it reminds me of the first Super Bowl he played in. I was in 8th grade, and the Chiefs were playing the 49ers at the Dolphin Stadium, and the Chiefs defeated the 49ers, and the Chiefs were up 20 to 10 with about 8 minutes to go. And Mahomes was on his like 30-yard line, and he threw a pass like 50 yards downfield to Tyreek Hill. Hill caught it, and then that set up the Chiefs touchdown to make it 20 to 17. Then the Chiefs stopped the 49ers on defense. Then it was 24 to 20. The 49er Chiefs stopped the 49ers again, and then the Chiefs score again 31 to 20. The Chiefs outscored the 49ers 21 to nothing in like the last 7 minutes. And again, Mahomes always finds a way to win in big games um under big stages and under a huge stage. When it's a close game with only a few minutes left, he always takes his team down the field and he always gets the job done. He's incredibly clutch. And there's one thing that's never over in football is when you play Mahomes in the playoffs. It's never over. You have to fight to the end, and they really, really fought till the end in that game. And then in Super Bowl 58, 4 years later, when I was a senior in high school, uh, Mahomes and the Chiefs beat the 49ers again, and they were down 10 to 6, but then it was 13 to 10, and it was just came down to the wire, and he just always finds a way. Do you think that makes a great player and a great competitor, Luca?
Yeah, I do think so. The fact that he is always able to handle and navigate the pressure and never like gives into it. Yeah, that is a great quality.
And in Super Bowl 57, they were down 10 at halftime. He had a bad ankle, but that did not stop Mahomes from scoring on every possession in the second half. He brought the team down the field, put them in a great position, and got the job done. And how do you think Travis Kelsey is doing this season, Luca?
This season, I would say he's underperforming. He's not performing as well as I'm used to seeing him do.
But in the Super Bowl 54, he caught the touchdown pass to make it 20 to 17. And in Super Bowl 57, he caught a touchdown pass. Travis Kelsey played against his brother Jason Kelsey in the Super Bowl. And in Super Bowl 58, he caught the pass to put them in field goal range to make it 19-19. And Mahomes and Kelsey, they always find a way, and I will never count them out. How do you think the Ravens are going to do in the playoffs, Luca?
The Ravens, I do think that they still have a shot at making it too. I'm not going to count them out either.
I'm not going to count them out either. And there is some fun, good football ahead of us. Thank you very much for joining us today. And we are looking forward to having another excellent adventure. Thank you.
untouchable, unstoppable.
This is WIUR Sports Radio.
Hi, I'm Rob.